Hi, in this tutorial we're going to be going over blocks. So at the side of each Moodle course you'll find a list of blocks. You can customize these blocks, you can get rid of the ones you don't feel are useful, and you can add some quite cool features to new blocks. So I'm going to show you how to do a couple of those things today. So firstly, in our example course we've got quite a few blocks which are either empty or not very useful. Starting with the top one, we've got search forums. Now, although we've got these two forums on our course, there's no real need for students to ever need to search through them. They know news is in news, they know discussions are in discussions, so I'm simply going to delete that block. Latest news, if you notice that there's actually a post in here by myself saying urgent past papers, spelt wrong, are available. And this is because I made a post in the news forum there. So I might leave that block because it's quite handy and it stops students having to go into the news forum to see posts. Upcoming events. If you use your calendar on your course, which you can add with another block, upcoming events will populate that block. But because I haven't added the calendar and I don't really intend to do so, I'm just going to delete that one as well. Okay, and we've got this recent activity block. That can go because things like deleted quiz, added quiz, I don't want the students knowing every time I tinker with the course, so I'm just going to delete this. Okay, so we have quite a sparse looking course. We've only got one block on the right, and then we've got the navigation block on the left. Students will see this, but they will not see the settings block. So I'm going to add two blocks to the course. The first block is going to contain some contact information so my students can get a hold of me. The second block is going to be a Twitter block, which I'll explain a little bit later. So the contact information is simply going to be a picture and contact information. So I can choose an HTML block for that. In fact, to do most things, you'll want to select HTML block. And after you choose it from here, the block will appear somewhere on the page. Once it's loaded, you can then drag the block to exactly where you want it on the page. So I'm going to drag mine to the top of this right column. And then to edit it, you click the cog like normal. Block title, contact information. Okay, so what I'm going to do next might seem a little strange, but I'm sure you'll gather what I'm doing. So I'm going to first add an image. Should be an image of myself, but in this case it'll be an image of a dog in a tuxedo. Insert. Who doesn't love a dog in a tuxedo? I'm going to center that and bring the size down quite a lot. Oh, if only I looked as stylish as that. Okay, so I'm going to paste in some text. So this is a randomly generated name, phone number, and a made-up email address. So don't try contacting that dog. Okay, so there we have it. A contact information block with a picture of myself and some information. So that works quite well. I don't think the students are going to miss that vital information. Okay, so next up is the Twitter block. Now I'm kind of expecting you to already know what Twitter is, simply because if you don't, there may not be a lot of point having a Twitter Twitter block on your course simply because it might go unused. But I'll run you through the basics just in case it's a tool which you want to start using. So Twitter's a way of transmitting messages of up to 140 characters. Every message that you post is followed by an @ symbol, which is effectively your signature. So mine is @ostern. Russia Today's is @rt_com. So if you want to search for someone, that's the way to do it. Or if you want to see all the posts made by a certain person or a certain @ symbol, @rt_com. So it gives you a list of suggested people, and you go to the one you want, and you can see all the tweets that that person has made. So this is a never-ending list of 42,000 tweets. So that couldn't really be any easier. And you can also use something called a hashtag. Now, a hashtag is a different way of letting people find your posts. For example, our Moodle course. So we want to start a Twitter feed surrounding our course. Mine's going to be called This Lecture at War Tech. So yours might be history, biology, chemistry at War Tech, or whatever you want, as long as it's not being used by someone across the world who's going to pollute your Twitter feed with all of their junk. Okay, so you first post, "Hello everyone, welcome to the course." So I'll proclaim this Twitter feed a success once that post has appeared in a block on the side here without me typing it in again. So if I hit tweet, "This lecture at War Tech, hello everyone, welcome to the course." So we want our feed to search for this lecture at War Tech. So there's only one tweet, which is good. This means that no one else is using this hashtag and it's free for us to take. So that's fine. And we might get a student. We can have students posting to this and all. So "This lecture at War Tech. You are my favourite teacher." Okay, so if that were a student, it would appear at the top of our feed, which is what we want. We effectively want this search to appear in our Moodle block. Okay, so the way we do this is we go to Settings at the top and click Settings. And along the left-hand side, you'll see something that says Widgets. I've got a few already, but I'm going to start another one. You go along to Search. This lecture at War Tech. If I've got, here we are. So this is how it's going to appear in our block. I'm quite happy with that. Safe search is probably a good idea. Auto expand photos, that's fine. Create widget. And it'll give you this neat little embed code, which you can copy. Go back into your Moodle course. Then you add an HTML block. Here it is. So I've created another block, and I'm going to drag it up here between latest news and contact information. Once again, we go into the configuration by clicking on the little grey cog. Block title, Twitter feed. In order to get it to display in the block, you need to go into HTML, which is here, and you can simply paste your embed code into the HTML editor here. You won't be able to see the block just yet, but you'll get a little link here. Once the course page is loaded, you'll see that we've got a block here with our 2 tweets. So this is effectively it. If we want to make an announcement, it'll come up here. What you might also find is some of your students who use Twitter will have subscribed to this hashtag. So every time you post, it pops up on their Twitter feed. So it might make students slightly more aware of the announcements you're making. It's also a good way for them to join into a conversation, as they can ask questions, they can tell you stuff, oh, I'm not going to be in college today for whatever reason. So it could be handy. Well, I hope you found this tutorial useful and you'll be confident in using blocks in the future. Thank you for watching.